Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror suspense film, Walled In. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. When the light turns on, a girl is seen sitting alone in a tight space. She starts banging on the walls and calling out to her father, but no one responds. Suddenly, concrete starts pouring out from the openings in the wall. With the enclosure sealed on all sides, the concrete starts rising rapidly. The girl tries desperately to call her father for help, but is soon drowned and buried under the concrete. 15 years later, young Sam has just graduated from her engineering course. At her graduation party, her father holds up two envelopes, one red and the other blue. Inside each envelope is a gift, but Sam can only choose one. She picks the red envelope and finds inside it an offer to lead her own project at her father's demolition company. The offer also promises to grant her major business partner status if Sam's project succeeds. The following moment, Sam drives out into the middle of nowhere and eventually arrives at the building she is assigned to demolish. The building is a stylish and uniquely designed high-rise apartment. Sam enters the building and meets Mary, the building's caretaker. Sam tells Mary that she will be staying in the apartment while she prepares for the demolition, as this would be more convenient. Mary leaves Sam to fetch the key to her room, which is previously owned by a girl. Shortly after, Mary's son Jimmy walks in and meets Sam. Jimmy shows Sam to her room and informs her about the building's rules. They are walking down the corridor when the lights suddenly turn off, and Sam sees a shadow behind them. Jimmy informs her that the lights turn off every 6 minutes to conserve electricity. Before Sam enters her room, Jimmy tells Sam to never go up to the roof because it is dangerous, and she should avoid the 8th floor because that was where the building's architect lives. Later on, as Sam cleans herself up from the bath, she is disturbed by a voice calling out her name. After her shower, she goes out for a walk and runs into Mary. Sam asks Mary how many people live in the building, to which she replies 4, who are Mary, Jimmy, and 2 other residents. The next day, Sam begins preparing for the demolition. She reviews the building's blueprints, measuring the walls and mapping where best to put the bomb charges for an efficient and effective demolition. However, she later goes up to the forbidden 8th floor and finds a strange room. Inside the room, she finds a diary where she reads a surprising journal entry expressing interest in Sam herself. Later, Sam goes to a convenience store and asks to use a computer. She searches the building up on the internet and finds out that it was the location of an incident called the Walled In Massacre, which happened 15 years ago. It's shown that the incident took the life of 16 people. The victims were found inside the walls, buried alive in concrete. Among the victims was the building's architect. Sam finds out that Jimmy had lied to her. She also discovers that the building was the only one left standing after the previous earthquake. On her way back to the apartment, Sam meets Jimmy, who invites her to come up with him to the 8th floor. When Jimmy returns to the apartment, he is scolded by his mother, who is afraid that he has revealed the building's secrets to Sam. When he tells her that he has revealed nothing, Mary orders him to stay away from Sam. He returns to his room, which is shown to be the strange room that Sam found earlier on the 8th floor. That night, Sam is marking the walls for the demolition when one of the tenants runs at her with an axe. He swings the axe on the wall and tells her that they oppose the demolition. Then he leaves her alone on the floor. After she recovers, Sam finds one of the architect's books and learns that the ancient Egyptians used to imprison and sacrifice people inside the buildings, so that it would make the buildings last longer. Right then, she is startled by a knock on the door and finds Jimmy waiting for her for their trip to the 8th floor. As they walk up the stairs to the 8th floor, Jimmy tells Sam more about the massacre. He tells her that the primary suspect was proved innocent and that the killer remains unknown to this day. Jimmy adds that there were rumors that the mirrors were double-sided and that the killer used secret passages to move around and abduct his victims. Sam also discovers that the girl that used to live in her room was also a victim of the massacre. Later on, they finally enter the architect's old room. Inside, Jimmy shows Sam where the police found the girl and the architect's body. He tells her that when they found the architect, his face was disfigured from all the concrete, so they had to call Mary to identify the body. Jimmy shows her one final spot and tells her that they also found his father's body in the wall. As they are leaving the room, Sam finds the architect's face molded into a slab of concrete. All of a sudden, Sam sees a shadow at the end of the corridor. She tries to chase it as it walks away, but the flashlight suddenly dies, and Sam is left alone in the dark. She gets scared and rushes back to find Jimmy, but trips in the dark and injures her leg. Eventually, Jimmy finds her, and they leave the room together. When they return to Sam's room, Jimmy treats her wound. He cleans the wound, but starts touching her smelly thighs and running his hand up her leg. After being told to stop, Jimmy leaves. Sam walks to the bathroom, where she sees the mirror on the wall shaking violently. She takes the mirror off the wall, and blood starts to trickle from the hole. Suddenly, hands emerge from the wall and pull Sam into the wall, revealing an enclosure similar to the one at the beginning of the film. Just like before, the enclosure starts filling up rapidly with concrete, and Sam is buried alive. However, Sam wakes up and realizes that it was all a nightmare. Unable to fall back asleep, she goes for a walk and is surprised by her boyfriend, who has come to visit. The next morning, Sam and her boyfriend sneak back into the architect's room. They find and eavesdrop on Mary, who is talking to the spot where they found her husband's body. When Mary leaves, she locks the door behind her, leaving Sam and her boyfriend stuck inside. They look around the room for a way to escape and eventually find a secret passage and climb down it. While climbing down, she notices a peephole directly to her bathroom and realizes that the creepy Jimmy has been spying on her all along. They find a lever at the bottom of the ladder and pull it, opening a secret door beside it. There is nothing in the room besides rats, garbage, and a single door. When they go to open it, the door suddenly opens, revealing Mary on the other side. Later that evening, Sam and her boyfriend decide to leave the building in the morning. But before that, they decide to play a nasty hormone game. However, in the wall beside them, Jimmy is secretly peeping and gets jealous of her hormone-rich boyfriend. The next morning, Sam finds the dog dead inside Julia's room. Sam finally finishes with her work and gets ready to leave. Jimmy knocks on their door and gives Sam a copy of the architect's journal as an apology and token of goodwill. From the journal, Sam discovers a large, open cavity in the center of the building. When they go to look for it, Jimmy climbs up to the roof to look for an opening. When he does not return, Sam and her boyfriend go up to the roof themselves and find the opening there, but Jimmy is missing. They suddenly hear Jimmy's voice from below the hole, telling them that he has fallen and his leg is broken. With her boyfriend lowering her down the hole, Sam climbs down to rescue Jimmy. However, her boyfriend is suddenly shot dead with a nail gun and lets go of the rope. Sam falls to the bottom of the hole. When she wakes up, she finds a man sitting in the shadows across from her. He introduces himself as the building's architect. Sam is in disbelief, as the architect was reported to have already died in the massacre. She also sees the radio that was playing the recording of Sam's voice. Right then, the gate to the hole suddenly opens, revealing Jimmy at the top. He drops a letter down to Sam. In the letter, Jimmy tells Sam that he is keeping her in the hole until she learns to love him. Meanwhile, Jimmy mails Sam's documents for the demolition to her father and drives her car into a lake to avoid suspicion. Back inside the hole, the architect confesses that he was the culprit behind the massacre. It is also revealed that the previous room owner is the victim girl in the opening scene and is actually Jimmy's sister. As revenge for her husband and daughter's death, Mary trapped the architect murderer inside the hole. Shortly after, Jimmy lowers down a cassette tape which the architect plays on the radio. The tape tells them to dance together. The architect tells Sam that they need only follow Jimmy's orders to stay alive. If they disobey, Jimmy will hurt them. After dancing together, the two are ordered by Jimmy to kiss. Sam refuses, but is pulled into the kiss by the architect. Moments later, Jimmy orders them to stop. He lowers down a basket of food and a radio so that Sam can communicate with him. He then threatens the architect and orders him to never touch Sam and her hormones again. The next day, Sam lies to Jimmy and says that she is wounded. She asks for medicine and supplies to treat her wound, which Jimmy sends down after she reveals herself to him. With the supplies, however, Sam creates a bomb, trying to blast open the walls and escape. All of a sudden, rain starts to fall on the ground, revealing a corpse underneath the soil. Finally, she lights the bomb, but the explosion fails to create an escape path. As Sam cries over the bomb's failure, the architect tells her how his building has withstood the test of time, just like the Great Pyramid of Giza. He tells her that the secret behind the survival of both structures is the entombing and burial of human sacrifices inside them. At that time, Jimmy overhears the explosion and is furious with Sam for trying to escape. Mary also arrives, having heard the explosion, but only discovers that Jimmy has put Sam in the hole. Sam screams out to Mary for help, but Mary turns bloody this time and only closes the gate to the hole. She just scolds Jimmy for putting Sam inside the hole with the architect. The next day, Sam pleads with Jimmy to let her out, but is told that it is already too late, as the demolition company has arrived and has begun setting up the explosives. After Sam and the architect devise a plan to escape, he knocks her out with a rock. When she wakes up, Sam finds her hands bound and tied to a pipe on the wall. She resists and recognizes that she was tricked, and that the architect never planned on escaping all along. While digging a grave, the architect reveals that he only wants Sam to kill him, and bury him inside the building so that the building will survive even longer, like the Great Pyramid. Sam refuses, but eventually stabs him after he begins taunting her. He falls backward into the grave, which starts filling up with concrete. Before the concrete fully covers him, he thanks Sam for helping him state his masterpiece. Outside the building, the demolition team is ready to destroy the building. However, with only 30 seconds left on the countdown, Jimmy starts regretting his decision to leave Sam. So he tells the demolition team to stop the countdown and runs back to the building to save her. Inside, Sam blacks out from exhaustion inside the hole. The demolition team runs after Jimmy and finds the hole with Sam passed out inside it. Having been caught, Jimmy utters an apology and jumps down the hole. He crashes to the bottom and dies. Eventually, a medical team is able to rescue Sam and bring her to an ambulance. The police also arrest the Bloody Mary for keeping the architect prisoner. As the film ends, Sam narrates that the architect had designed 27 buildings in total, all of which are still standing to this day. The architect had considered the building to be his masterpiece and that there are no current plans to have it demolished. True enough, the architect's plan to follow the Egyptians and seal himself in the building actually kept the building alive till today. This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.